Salutations, fellow nerds. I'm Rick Y, the Wise Guy, and today is January 15th, 2025. Jack Smith's report was partially released, detailing exactly what would have happened had Trump not been elected by his supporters and those who decided to skip this one out. So, if you enjoy news, history, and humorous American hogwash, sit a spell. Take your shoes off. The past couple of weeks, Trump has been trying desperately to block the release of a final summary of Jack Smith's criminal investigation into Donald Trump. The results were laid out and largely fell upon deaf ears, as the information contained was both heavy and unsurprising indeed. Within it, Jack Smith details how a jury would have convicted him, and the only saving grace was his nomination to the presidency. He also went on to say that it was important to underscore the importance that Donald Trump was not at all exonerated of any crimes he had been charged with, given his perpetual mischaracterizing of legal entanglements to muddy the water for his supporters. In glorious detail, Jack Smith indicates Trump's complicit involvement and direct action in the events on January 6th over the course of 146 pages of evidentiary documents and investigative information. And this is a tremendously important set of details because it reinforces the notion that although we've spent hundreds of years telling the world that we are a country of laws and that no man is above any of them, that just doesn't turn out to be the case. Not only that, but these rules are dictated by an antiquated internal Justice Department memo and not a constitutional framework. I imagine the primary reason for this is that there are enough defenses in place to keep that from happening, from impeachment proceedings that should have turned him into a private citizen that never occurred, to the Supreme Court removing the relevance and meaning of Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, which was clearly designed for the exact scenario of a convicted felon like Trump from ever being able to be eligible for even being placed on a state ballot, let alone run our country's military. And they all but cleared the way for our nation's first felon executive to take the helm. There's a group of people who were openly mocking their fellow Americans for whom they took open advantage of, and the people who were being taken advantage of who never failed to give those people the benefit of the doubt. The results were that of luck, faith to a man over the Constitution, and complacent malcontent on behalf of those who fail to recognize the gravity of the moment. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not bashing those who had moral injuries that kept them from finding it in their good conscience to make the choice to pull the lever for Harris. I just hope it was worth it. I mean, it's probably pretty easy to say it is now. You still have less than a week before the actual incessant horseshit that we've come to know with Trump and MAGA begins its final round. And if you think the first term was a wild ride, know that they're not going to hold back this time. If it actually means anything to you, it's a good time to start participating in the resistance now before it gets entirely snuffed out. To the rest of y'all cynical tree huggers, understand that this is not 4 years, not definitively. The time is now to start being absolutely 100% laser focused on the midterm elections in 2 years. The only weakness that Trump and his cohorts currently face is the threat that they will not have a unified front in 2 years, the way that they currently do now. To those badass young voters out there who I will never lose faith in, it isn't hopeless. But a progressive future needs you. Our future depends on your participation. You can either roll over and accept the theocratic oligarchy, or you can actually do something to gain some traction in this fight. It starts with you, and it has to start with you. Thanks for hanging in there with me. Make sure to like and sub, fam. Y'all come back now. You hear?